And yeah. Hey, YouTubers. YouTubers. Oh, is that a disease? Tubers? They have tubers? Tubers? No, YouTubers. But anyway, hi, YouTube. Glad to have you as always. We do have a couple patron saints at the Divine Fellowship by the name of George Carlin and John Lennon. Some of you may not have noticed, and some of you may not have known, but last weekend, Bob and Dottie were here. And some of you know them. They used to come many years ago for a long, long time. And that "Yay, George" thing, that came from Dottie. Oh. She just all of a sudden did it probably, I don't know, about 10 years ago when we were doing this. And she said that, and it just kind of stuck, and now everybody does it. So, cool. There you go. John, all you need is love. Da-dum-bum. Yep. And George, the Golden Gate Bridge should have a long bungee cord for people who aren't quite ready to commit suicide but want to get a little practice in. So, yeah, maybe not, but maybe, don't know. We have a new calendar. It's in the back under September 2015 because guess what? In another couple days it's going to be September 2015. And church picnic the 13th at Columbia Point. So everybody be there, be square. And bring what? Bring your drum. Yes, bring your drums. Bring some food, but we'll supply the pulled pork and pulled chicken, because what it is. So, and of course all the utensils and all that kind of stuff. So, intuitive development on Tuesday, interchange on Wednesday, Spirit Thursdays on Thursday, and Lynn's not here to talk to, so you talk to Tracy if you wanted, or whoever. And also ARE meets on Thursday here. Essential oils on Saturday, also with Lynn. And Sandra wants to say something about interchange.
How many of you are members of Costco or go to Costco?
Okay.
Oh, hi there. Costco. On Wednesday night, we do a group support of using Brene Brown's information right now about vulnerability and its role in our being creative and living wholehearted lives. The other interesting thing is this month, Costco Connection, she's on the front. And if you read it, you'll get a complete overview of what her work is about. We are using her book called The Gift of Imperfection right now in our group on Wednesday night. And I would encourage you, if you have things that go on in your life, why the hell am I in that pattern again? Why is that happening? And we even had a workshop here called, Why is this happening to me again? But if it's still happening, what William and I have learned from Brene Brown's work is there's so much of it from shame and from the fear of being vulnerable. And it's given us some really deep and really wonderful insights. She presents to all kinds of organizations, Fortune 500. Her life has changed in the last, since 2008 and 2009. And she's really just now coming into her stride. One of the things that she said is that in the gifts of imperfection, wholehearted living is about engaging in our lives from a place of worthiness. It means cultivating the courage, compassion, and connection to wake up in the morning and think, no matter what gets done and how much is left undone, I am enough. It's going to bed at night thinking, yes, I'm imperfect and vulnerable and sometimes afraid, but that doesn't change the truth that I am also brave and worthy of love and belonging. So I encourage you, if that resonates with you at all, to come on Wednesday nights.
What was the name of that book again?
The name of the book is The Gifts of Imperfection.
No, the one that you're using.
The Gifts of Imperfection is the book we're using.
So does that mean I am really, really gifted?
You got it. You got it. And also, as some of you know, we bring eggs from a friend down the road. Wonderful, organic, loved chickens. But we need cartons. So even if you're not getting eggs, if you would bring your cartons, we would be really grateful to have them, because she has to buy them, which would raise the price of the eggs, which they're already really inexpensive. So that's a little reminder, and I thank you.
And the eggs go fast in the morning. Like people get here quite a bit before service and they go, there's no eggs, and they go, they're gone already. So. All right. Things that make you go, The secret of being a bore is to tell everything. Voltaire, 1694. Speech is the small change of silence. I kind of like that one. Okay. The science fiction television series Lost in Space, which premiered on CBS in 1965, is set in the year 1997. I think they missed it. I could be wrong, but I think they missed it. At least we, or maybe we missed it. We just blinked and it just kind of zoomed right past us. Yes. Hats have come into use only in recent centuries. In the past, men wore hoods or fur attached to their cloaks. A man's hood would even give a hint of their occupation. Doctors, priests, and artists could be identified at a glance by the type of hood they wore. This system had a few flaws, though. If a thief wished to set himself up as a doctor, he simply wore a doctor's hood and went to a town that he was not known in. As a result of this practice, any deceit came to be called a falsehood. Now you know where that one came from. Hey, did anybody notice any difference in the back part of the church building today? The kitchen's all done. Yay! Looks wonderful. Looks wonderful. Got the barn door there and everything. By the way, if you're going to use the barn door, be very, very careful. It swings really easy and crashes and makes all kinds of noise and everything if you try to open it or close it hard. So just be very, very gentle with it. What we're trying to do, and it didn't work at all today, is when they're doing Qigong in there on Sunday, obviously we keep this door closed and try to keep our voices down best we can. But if you do need to go into the room with the printer or into the back for any reason, you could go through the barn door now and not disturb them quite as much. But nothing worked out real well this morning, so sorry about all the noise. But. Oh yeah, I forgot. That was the other part. And if you haven't seen the kids' room, you need to go back and take a look at there also, because it's totally different. Jan and Alexis is in the back now. They painted it. It took 2 coats of Kills, as you can imagine. And then 1 or 2 coats of top coat, and it looks wonderful back there now. Had some new furniture in there for the kids, took out a bunch of stuff, still got the TV to put up and different things. Jan, did you want to say anything about all the stuff in the back? Or do you want to?
I haven't thought that far ahead.
Okay.
I'll do that later.
Okay, well I'll say something too and you can say something then.
Yes.
There's a bunch of, actually most everything in the back room now is like, take it if you want it. So go through it. There's everything from coffee cups and little kids' desks. The desks we've been using and chairs we've been using for years. We're trying to get rid of those. I think it's a perfect opportunity for anybody, if you know, like moms doing homeschool, something like that. I think the desk would be perfect. So look through all the stuff back there. If you're not positive it's really something to be given away, ask. If you want to donate something, that's fine too. But yeah, no, don't take the library. Yeah, books are not, don't take the books. Don't take the books. So, anything else?
There's some kids' books and a TV.
Yeah. Yep, videos and lawnmowers. What are those things you use in the house? Vacuum cleaners. Yeah, there's a couple of those back there. And same idea. Yeah. Santa's helpers are subordinate clauses. Acupuncture, a jab well done. Marathon runners with bad shoes suffer the agony of defeat. Of course. The roundest knight at King Arthur's round table was circumference. He acquired his size from too much pie. Probably. By the way, these are lexophiles, obviously. People that like words. And my grandparents are funny. Whenever they bend over, you hear gas leaks and they blame the dog. Anything else going on that I should know about? No? Anything I'm forgetting? Yeah, it was on the calendar. Yep, yep. Yeah, and the new calendar obviously has an article on the back from Janice. She wrote an article. She does that a lot. Okay, male logic. She was outside pulling weeds on a hot day when her husband walked up and asked her what they were having for dinner. Irritated by the thought of him sitting in an air-conditioned house while she labored away on the weeds, she snapped, "I can't believe you're asking me about supper right now. Pretend I'm out of town. Go inside and fix yourself dinner." So he went back in the house and fixed himself a big steak, potatoes, garlic bread, and a tall beer. His wife walked in just before the time he was finishing up and asked, "Where's my dinner?" "Huh? I thought you were out of town." Male logic. Okay, guys. Yeah. All right. So I was wondering how that one was going to go over. Actually, it went over just as I thought. Guys are secretly belly laughing. Or not so secret. Sure.
Lynn's not here today. She asked me to send around a sign-up sheet. She's doing an essential oil rollerball remedy class. So if you guys want to take her class, it's this Saturday. It's $20, and I don't know all the details, but this is the sign-up sheet. Yeah, you can make a essential oil remedy. They're really good for a lot of different things that ail you. Very effective, and they smell real good. So, yeah, for $20 you get to make I think it's a 10 milliliter roller ball with whatever recipe that you choose that she brings, and she'll bring a lot for that, and it's a lot of fun. So there you go.
Thank you. Well, it's not working again. I don't know why it's not doing that. Huh. Well. There we go. Maybe.
Try that again. There we go. Woohoo! Do that later. Do that later. Do this now. Help me here. You know, if you can't have fun with life, why do you do it, right? I want to talk to you today. I really do. I really do. I really do. However, my allergies are talking to me, so we got to deal with that too. So I apologize in advance for any sniffing, snuffling. Let me get myself together here. No. I'm nesting. Am I nesting? Is that it? Okay. That's one way to say it. Like I've been telling people, I'm not a control freak, I'm a control enthusiast. It's in your article today. I want to talk to you about you and about me. What got you here today? I don't mean, well, I got my car and I got here, but what got you here? Some of us got here from years of looking for something we didn't know what was. And some of us got here because we just couldn't do that other thing anymore. What got you here today? And once once we look at that and consider that for a minute, how does it feel to be here? Like walking on sunshine, baby. And don't it feel good? What's really cool is that we don't do guilt here. So every one of you is here because you want to be. There's no obligation, no duty. It's just your heart has motivated you, and here you are. And here you are. And I want you to remember that there is this spark within you that will always get you where your soul needs you to go. Always. I don't use the word always very often. Matter of fact, I kind of have an aversion to the word always, because usually always comes with a judgment. Well, you always do that. This doesn't come with judgment. This is truth. There is within you your soul's purpose, longing for fulfillment that guides you. But I screw up and I make mistakes. Do you really? Are they really mistakes? Man, I go through some really tough stuff. And some of that is just self-inflicted. But there's always a lesson. There's always something there that takes me to the next place. Now, I've had some really crummy jobs in my time. And some were wonderful jobs that I hated. But they always taught me something. I always learned something. I always received something from that. Because there's this spark of divine that is always leading me to fulfill my purpose. And here's the kicker. This just kicks my butt every time. Is that sometimes what we think we want isn't what our heart's desire is. It has nothing to do with our soul's purpose. And we end up banging our head against the wall. Why is it not working? Maybe I want to be rich, but my soul loves to rescue kittens. And they need vets, veterinarians, and they need food, and they need care, and they need time. And my soul's purpose is in conflict with my desire to be wealthy. What do you think is going to win? Kitties win every time. Well, how do you find your soul's purpose? If you don't get anything else from me, get this. You're going to love this. You don't have to know. Your soul knows. And your soul will guide you to it. And when you get there, you're going to go, oh, I knew all along. Of course. The psychic V8 moment. Could have had a V8. But here's the deal. Let me tell you. Here's the deal. I'm sorry. I'm getting fired up. I apologize, but I'm not sorry. A couple of years ago, went to one of my grandkids had a church Christmas pageant. And he was so cute. He was just a little guy. And I sat in the pew and started crying. Not because he was so cute, but because I really, really, really want to be where you are. I want to sit in a pew. I want somebody to tell me something that's encouraging. I want to just sit there, make something for a potluck. I really want that. I want that really bad. But that's not my destiny. That's not my purpose. I don't want this. I stand in the back of the church every Sunday morning praying, oh God, don't let me screw up. Oh God, let me get to the front without falling down. This is not easy for me. It looks easy because there's this divine spark that loves you so much that I stand in the back of the room and go, what do they need? Let me just be a vessel. What do they need? How can I be of assistance? And the second I ask, how can I be of assistance, all of a sudden, my want steps out of the way. And what emerges is me walking up that aisle. That's why I don't sit on the front row. I'm not ready to sit on the front row. I can't do that. Sit there and step up. I can't do it. I have to stand in the back and be ready. Get ready. Because what I want is not what my soul is searching for, is striving for. And sometimes we get confused with what I want and what we came here to do. So I want to talk to you a little bit about sacred contracts. Some of you have heard about sacred contracts. That's contracts that you make on the other side before you get here. They're not eternal contracts. They're not even till death do you part contracts. They're till you get them done contracts. If I signed up to help someone learn about their anger, then as soon as I fulfill my part in that role, I can move on. They may still be angry, but I suited up, I showed up, and I stood in my sacred space. Whether they shift or not is not part of my contract. I didn't come to fix someone. I came to be me. And when I realize, oh, look, I suited up and showed up for that. The second I realize that, that contract is fulfilled. And I can move on to something else. I can choose my next sacred contract. So if you've been someone's victim in the past, you suited up, you showed up, you did that thing, you don't have to do it anymore. Don't be somebody's victim. You don't have to. If your contract is to take care of someone and be their caretaker, and then you find, you know what, they're just not coming along. They're not standing up for themselves. They're not learning anything. It might be time to write a new contract. Sacred contracts are sacred till you wake up and go, oh, look, a sacred contract. And then you're done. You're free. You may not have any tools for moving on, and then it's your sacred contract to find new tools to move on. That makes sense? So I want to talk to you a little bit about destiny. What's destiny? I think we all have one. I'm destined for greatness. Well, time will tell. I think destiny is this wonderful thing that's mutable. Maybe you're destined to be a teacher. Some people say, oh, you were just destined to be a teacher. You can't put me in a classroom with small children. Children would die, I'd go to jail, it would not be a pretty thing. Just not. And I can be very compassionate and caring. You should be a nurse. Oh no. Mm-mm. It doesn't serve really well to have nurse faint when somebody is in needing of care. I couldn't do that. But I think there's times when I fulfill a destiny of being very caring and compassionate without having to see a lot of blood or other body fluids. No, thank you. And I think I can be a teacher without being in a classroom. So your destiny, even though you may be destined to become blah, 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 we got to stop putting it has to look a certain way on it. Don't you think? Because as soon as you put it in a box, you know what happens? Something comes along, blows the lid off. Have you ever had a lid blowing experience? Oh my gosh. And it's different. Things are different. So whatever got you here today is part of this inner spark that guides you in everything. And even though you've made some decisions in your life, perhaps, that have been very, very difficult for you, they were significant for you so that you could move beyond maybe some sacred contract you had come to fulfill. They were important for you to experience so that you could bring yourself to another level of awareness. That sacred spark within you cannot get squelched. I don't usually talk in absolutes, but this is an absolute, dear friends. Whatever led you to this moment in time and this place, this experience, was for your benefit, not for your hardship. Hardship is just a part of life, darn it. Dadgummit. But it's there. It's a part of the life experience. Sometimes it's health issues, sometimes it's relationship issues, sometimes it's financial issues, sometimes it's all of the above. But where you are is because you have journeyed following this divine spark. And you're right where you need to be right here, right now, for the next thing that you're going to be led to. And you don't have to know what that is. Somebody sent me a Facebook thing. They've been in several of my classes, and they were like, well, I want to know what now, I want to know the whole thing. And they received this, somebody had sent it to them or something, and it said, do you want to eat every meal you're ever going to have between now and the time you die? You want to eat it right now? Savor where you are. Savor what is in front of you now. And let go with having to figure out what it is or having to know. You don't have to know. The only thing you have to know is that sacred spark is what life is all about. And that sacred spark guides you to the next thing. And if you're not ready for the next thing, then things come to you to help you learn so you're ready for the next thing. And sometimes being ready for the next thing looks like disgust. I am just sick of this crap. I'm done with that. And then we become willing to learn something new. That's how it works for me. Does it work different for you? No, I gotta bang my head against the wall a few times. I wish it was easy. See, that's the want. I want it to be easy. Well, it can be. It's easier when I get out of my own darn way. But there's a part of me that has to resist. What's up with that? I don't know. It's human nature. It's human nature to question things, and it's human nature to resist. And unfortunately, it's human nature to look at the negative side of things. It's divine nature to view even negative things with a positive thought. I'm really grateful that happened because. So whatever's going on in your life, consider that. I want perfect health. I don't get it. Dang. I'm really grateful that I have health issues now because I'm looking at eating better. Isn't that a lovely thing? Now, wouldn't it have been nice if I had just eaten better before? The 8 moment. No, we're not wired that way. We got to do it the hard way, don't we? Or am I the only one? Am I the only one to do it the hard way? I don't think so. So looking back at everything you've done till now, and you think back about all those things, oh, I made that mistake, and I made this mistake, and I put myself through that. Let it go. Forgive that. At the same token, there's the other side of thought, well, God put me through this, and God put me through that, and God put me through this other thing. Let it go. Oh, and there's a chime saying, here's your sign. I love it. Oh, did you hear? You did hear that, right? I don't know if they heard it on video or not, but chime went off. Let it go. Because through all of it, this divine spark was active. Even when we're going, bong, the divine spark is still there, using whatever circumstance we're in to guide us to the next best thing in our life. And if you look back on all of those things, if all of the things that happened before, if something didn't happen, would you be as good a person as you are right now? No. So we can be grateful for that. And we can be grateful for what we're going through right now. Right, wrong, good, or bad. Even if we don't have the tools to make it different. Because whatever we're going through right now is leading us to a place where I'm ready for something different. And being ready for something different and being willing to try something different is powerful. That's where the power comes from. Because when we move into a state of willingness, then that accesses energetic connection to divine. Whatever that is for you. So how do we heal the past? Let's look at that just briefly. Whatever your destiny might be out there, you may not know what that is. And that's okay, because it's out there. Right now, you're here. I would venture to guess, I have one more thing to say about that before we talk about healing. There's this lady, Phil and I used to know her at another church we used to attend. Sweetest little thing ever. And she had just retired. She said, you know, I thought I'd find my destiny by now. I'm sorry to say, Phil and I laughed out loud. And she was like, hurt her feelings. We said, oh, no. You have been fulfilling your destiny from the minute we saw you. She had this wonderful ability to be able to let everyone feel welcome. It wasn't a job she had. We think our destiny is wrapped up in our paycheck. It's not. Now, if you can find a way to get paid for doing what you love, that's awesome. But it doesn't have to be. She was fulfilling her destiny of making everyone feel safe and welcome. And she'd been doing it for years. And when we shared that with her, she just looked like, oh my, you're right. And it shifted everything for her. Shift happens. And in those moments, you're not the same. The past is not the same. The future is not the same. The now is not the same. Everything is different. She had one of those shift moments. You probably are in some way already fulfilling your destiny. Maybe it doesn't ring yet. Maybe you don't know. But you're going to look back and go, oh yeah, this was all a part of the plan. Now let me tell you about the plan first. Before we talk about healing, I got to do this. Sorry. When I say the plan, I mean your soul's plan. And your soul works with your conscious and your subconscious to move you in the right direction. So if the soul's plan is for you to be an electrician, you may find yourself getting shocked a lot. Because you don't know the rules about electricity yet. And maybe you leave a flashlight turned on and didn't turn it off. And oh my gosh, dead batteries. So maybe there's lots of things that you learn along the way on your journey. And then finally you go, you know, I'm always burning something up. I'm always shocking myself. I might want to look at that. And when you look at that, you go, oh, look at this. And I can draw these charts and things. And what are they called? Schematics? See, I'm way out of my league here. I should talk to Phil about this. But as you're doing that, you learn more. And as you learn more, you get more excited. Oh, look at this. You can build your own electric car. Right, Phil? But who knew? You didn't know till you know. But the plan is not your conscious plan. Because I plan a lot of stuff. I wanted to be a mommy with 2 little kids, white little picket fence. I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom and make cookies. My son was born, 1. He would have none of this. He'd eat cookies. But you know, he was like independent from day 1. Don't cuddle me, Mom. Well, there went that dream out the window. It's okay, because now I'm grandma. Kids come over, we bake cookies, they go home, it's just peachy. It's wonderful. It looks different than I had hoped when I was in my 20s, but it looks really good for being in my 60s. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. Perfect. Just because it looks different than what you're expecting doesn't make it wrong. And what I wanted was a foretaste of what I have with my grandkids. How fun is that? So it's like you're walking down a path and then it forks in about 3 or 4 or 5 different directions. Well, I'll take that one. Well, that means I'm not walking those. I can't regret those because that's the choice I made. Okay, I'm walking down this path that looks totally different than I thought it was going to look like. That's okay. And then it'll branch and branch and branch and branch, and I'll take whatever branches that leads to. And you know, when I get down the road, now what was in my heart's desire is there for me. Did not look like what I expected it to, but that's okay. That's okay. Just because I can't envision it or can't imagine it doesn't mean it's not there for me. Doesn't mean it's not there for you. So let's take a minute. I want to talk about healing what has happened till now. Because sometimes we experience some really traumatic things on the journey to here, on the journey to now. Okay, so we're not going to talk about healing that. And the reason being is because the wounds you're experiencing are judgment. Well, this is hard for me. Give me a second here. So judgment. There are some really crappy things that happen that are out of our control. But you know what? It's only my judgment of them that makes them that painful. Because in truth, that divine spark led me through it all. They're part of those things that happened in the past, were part of that sacred contract that I was here to help other people see their anguish. And that's part of it, how your past is for you. It was part of a fulfillment of a sacred contract. So rather than healing that, let's shift our sacred contract now, shall we? And in shifting that sacred contract, the wound cleans and heals itself. So let's take a look inside. What's the recurring theme? What's the thing that came up for you? What's the trauma and the tragedy? What's the pain? Find the pain. And as you're looking at that pain, I don't think many of us have to go very far to find it. As you're looking at that pain, there's a sacred contract around that. Not for your benefit, dear one. This sacred contract wasn't so that you could suffer. This sacred contract was so that you could support someone else on their soul's journey. And if you look at it from that perspective, you can step back from that and let it go. Let them have it. Let them have it. You didn't come to teach them something. You didn't come to heal them. You came to stand sacred ground and be who you are. And through all of that, who you are remained intact. The divine sacred you remained intact, whatever the trauma. And they're big. There's some big traumas in this room. So now look past the pain. Look past the pain. And find that sacred being that has been here since you took your first breath of life. When you took on that breath of life, angels sang. Angels sang. Because you chose in. You had big work to do. Big stuff to do. And you stepped in. And you took a deep breath in. Let's take one now. Deep breath in. And exhale. And let that life breath nourish you. And feed your soul. Feed your soul's purpose. Because you're a survivor. You've come through a lot, and here you are. And that divine spark has been guiding you, leading you, and with you as a part of that sacredness that you brought into this life with that breath. So there's two things to observe here. The breath, the choosing, the will, that divineness that you are, and then the divine spark that has led and guided you through it all. Not into pain, but through pain. Because you know what? You're here. And it's like walking on sunshine. You know, Phil doesn't ask me when he picks these pieces of music out. He couldn't have picked a better one. You know, you'd think he got an inspiration somewhere. I don't know. Maybe, you think? Divine spark was at work. Guiding him, leading us all. And we work together. You want to see where divine spark is taking you? Let's do a guided meditation. So Phil